If you've ever seen the haunted episode of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, you could never hope to unsee it. In it, Mickey Mouse slaughters Killer Bell Cow with a 30-foot strand of dental floss that Goofy had been using to clean out his canine asshole as part of his enema. Well, I saw the episode on Disney XD, and let me tell you, it left me incapable of ever doing the XD face ever again because it was so traumatizing and sadness inducing that no amount of food, money, alcohol, or women could ever hope to appease me. Broken your bank account? I am broken heart. Broken spirit. A mouse that had fallen into the trap. It may sound cheesy, but don't twitch your whiskers at me, Grandpa. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is haunted. Mickey Mouse Club House. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is haunted. So the scene zooms in on the clubhouse, but something is immediately off. There's a frowny face graffitied onto the Mickey Mouse head. Some sort of neon pink and green spray paint. Truly looked hideous. Inside of the House of Mouse, Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and an unnamed clown could be seen with their pupils dilated. Eyes entirely wide open, as if they had just seen a ghost. Or at least the Klansmen running around the clubhouse. Donald is whispering about a fountain of chocolate, which sounds rather fun and kid-friendly, but he seems absolutely spooked and horrified. His tongue rolls out of his mouth and out onto the floor like an unrolling red carpet, Gene Simmons from Kiss style. There are maggots all over his tongue. A deadpan narrator voice mumbles out, "You are the maggots. The maggots are in you. All living creatures are inhabited by parasites." Now, I don't know why. What appears to be audio of a real-life married couple arguing and what sure does sound like screaming, punching, and assorted other acts of domestic violence is played for about 35 minutes. The husband keeps slapping around his wife while insisting that a baby is a parasite and the pregnant woman is a host. Infestation. Wait a minute. That was not a woman. That was not his wife. That was a blow-up doll. It was wearing a Steamboat Willie Walt Disney t-shirt. The narrator reveals that a Steamboat Willie is some sort of love-making move involving spitting in your partner's ear and nibbling on it like a mouse before blowing so loudly and aggressively into her navel hole that she may as well blow up. I don't know what to make of that. The scene returned with the various Disney characters bowing down to Mickey and offering him decapitated birds as some sort of offering. Pete was dressed up as some sort of ancient cultic priest, not of any sort of active contemporary religion. He rings off the heads of some of the birds that were not pre-prepared as sacrifice, sprinkling some sort of cooking oil and seasonings upon it, tossing it up into a pan, pouring the animal's blood into a basin shaped like a Mickey Mouse head. Some chanting breaks out in the room. It's odd. Who's the leader of the club that's made for you and me? Mickey, 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 Mickey. I thought that perhaps the episode got stuck. Like one of those old VHS tapes Grandpa used to brag about owning, but nope. There was nothing like that going on. The candles, incense. Minnie Mouse was sipping a pumpkin spice latte. The Starbucks cup had a drawing of Mickey Mouse's head on it, but with sharp horns protruding from the side of his head, and seemed to be throwing up some rather heinous words. Killing, theft, unwed intercourse, overeating. Well, what was with these puke green letters? Pulsating, vibrating like worms that had been slurming through an ancient Greek vomitarium. It wasn't until Pete began sprinkling his seasonings all over the various Disney characters it started to hit me. Mickey was smiling. He was salivating, mouth wide open, ogling his prey like a fat man at an Olive Garden 30 minutes before he blows up the men's room toilet. Yes, that was when it all hit me. That was when it all hit me indeed. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse was a cult. The German Dr. Duck prepared the mustard gas, but none of it was necessary, as all of the Disney characters seemed to volunteer themselves. Mickey pressed down his wiry mouse fingers into Pete's plump gullet and licked his lips once more. The screen went black. There were sounds of loud, obnoxious biting. When the lights turned back on, all of the Disney characters except for Mickey were hung up on meat hooks, and Mickey was biting, nibbling on all of them. The words hot dog displayed on the bottom of the screen in a caption, some sort of childlike font. About half a minute of what appeared to be a lizard shaking, jerking, belly dancing, doing the Watusi, a massive hand in the display of an OK symbol. Was that hand Donald Trump's? It was orange. The clubhouse blew up from the inside from what appeared to be a controlled demolition. There was something flying, fluttering in the wind from the wreckage. I couldn't tell what it was until one of the sheets smacking into where the camera would have been if this was live action TV. It was not a sheet. It was a food stamp. The rest of this episode was approximately 1.5 hours of a Walmart self-checkout register. It was fascinating how many people didn't bother paying for their meat they stole. Lamb chops, crab legs, T-bone steaks. There was a midget in the child seat of a shopping cart dressed up in a Donald Duck hat and sailor outfit, but otherwise naked and seemingly with diseased genitalia. A man with a lengthy clip-on stuffed animal mouse tail, presumably a furry, ripped open a pack of Kraft singles and gnawed on them profusely, as if he hadn't had a meal in years. But he was rather chubby and his face was covered in marinara sauce smears, so I found that rather unlikely. The sound of Goofy's laugh was overlaid over the video for most of the minutes, though for an extended period it sounded like an obese man belching and moaning as if in a diabetic food coma. Lay on top of it. I had almost turned off the episode, if it could even be called that, when an unanticipated sight flashed on the screen. It was the clown from the clubhouse from earlier. He was moving his arms and legs around as if he was a mine trapped in a box. A single teardrop had been tattooed just below his bright red clown nose. He was shooting himself in the face with one of those water flowers clowns are known to wear in their pockets and spray you inappropriately. The clown was making gasping motions, as if to suggest he was dying of thirst. The irony was not lost on me. The irony was not lost on me. If only he had known of the water fountains at Walmart. But the clown fell and hit the floor and collapsed. The furry mouse man snapped the arms and legs of the clown and tossed a slice of cheese between two stolen Sam's Club hamburger buns, laying it out on top of the clown's back before stomping down into it with his foot. Before all was said and done, there was a tool selection scene, which you might remember from just about any other episode of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. This time the tools to select from were an enema kit, a Soviet flag accompanied by an actual hammer and sickle, and what appeared to be Stick Stickly. Stick Stickly was a popsicle stick with googly eyes attached to it, because Nickelodeon was too stingy to pay for the development of an actual mascot that didn't look like it was thrown together in a kindergarten class, only the world's lamest macaroni drawings. Mickey Mouse chose them all. Administered an enema to Stick Stickly, while Oswald the Lucky Rabbit ripped out the hammer and sickle and smashed the clown's corpse into tiny little bits that resembled pork bites or nuggets. They tossed in the cheeseburger sandwich. He took a dump into the sandwich and nobody at Walmart cared. The episode ended with no credits, but instructions to build a bomb so that you could blow up your TV, which was now as cursed as the episode itself was, allegedly. I never bothered to do that, though occasionally I'm pretty sure I hear a mouse squeaking from the inside of my TV when it's off at night, but it might just be because I live in a condemned apartment building. It's actual mouse that climbed its way into my actual 1980s boob tube TV. Either way, I don't much mind or care. I tend to eat when I watch TV. Maybe some crumbs or scraps dribble their way through the pixels. He can have them. I have too much dignity to reverse engineer my television for expired imitation food product. Maybe we are all just mice in a rat race for meaning, and especially if we come from abusive fathers who would eagerly and willingly redesign our childhood homes to resemble their faces. We are ripe for the picking, and assumption that something that would eagerly and readily consume us would make us finally happy just to be a part of something. Goofy dated Clarabelle Cow. Humans eat cows. Goofy is a dog, and dogs eat beef. Maybe this is just the way it is meant to be. I am my own parasite. I don't need a host to live. We feed off of other. We could share our endorphins. Dull straight. Test me. Look on the bright side, fewer fries, lost burgers, I'm on your side. Chicken left wing, right wing, greasy wings, like a protein bag is sleeping. I am my own pet Big Mac. I get to draw a beard on her. Her milkshake is my shit. My shit is lactose intolerant. Test me. Dull stick. Look in the ball pit, kitty spit. Lost hygiene, I smell a cat piss. I don't have the enzyme to digest things. Does it sadden you that all of life's but consuming things? Protector of the kernel. Ecto Cooler's not on the menu. When was Harlan David Sanders' birthday? The fecal smears all over my ovaries.